Alrighty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another weekly update. Hope everybody's having a lovely day. And with that being said, let's get into the TA. All right, guys, exciting stuff going into this week. I'm not sure if this is going to be the week we're rolling over, but we're going to start off with the weekly charts. And spoiler alert, I don't think they're the worst looking weekly charts. I think they are positioned in a bullish manner. And I know that doesn't come as a surprise to anybody who's been watching the channel, but that is what it is. All right. Starting here with SPY, I'm going to point out you do have a, it's not really, you have wicks on both sides, but we're not going to call this a bearish candlestick. You very clearly could tell bulls took control throughout the week. You started down here, you ended up here. All right, QQQ. Now, I will also point out you do not have increasing volume on any of these candlesticks to support them. But then again, these aren't the most bullish candlesticks anyway. They're just definitely indicating that, yeah, buyers were in control throughout the week. That's what I'm saying. All right, right over here, guys. Again, you came down. It's a pretty similar candlestick to what we got over here on SPY, except you came down to that weekly 9 and you bounced off. And yeah, you ended up taking out the high ever so slightly. And now, you really think that was it? You really think you're just going to, boom, tap your head up there and come back down? I think not. I think we're going to probably continue higher. And I think these levels have a solid shot of getting hit. But, guys, we still haven't hit 450. We came 66 cents away. And, yeah, no, I think we're going to 450. I think that is incoming this week. But it's just my opinion. IWM, again, just, it's not bearishly positioned, guys. You're at the top of the range. You're riding the weekly 9 EMA up here. So we're not going to call this a bullish candlestick, but we'll call this an indecision candlestick. Okay? It's a doji. It doesn't look too bad. You're really just consolidating. What if this is going to be a range? What if you do this? What if you ping pong right here for a little while and then boom? All right? Does that look so bad? No. All right? Or what if you just ping pong and eventually you break down, get your pullback? Who knows? I don't think that's going to happen, though, like considering we were in a range for over a year now. All right, that is 2 years. 2 years we're inside this range, going from down here to down here. Okay, this was your range. You just broke out of your range. Do you think that was it? I don't think that was it. I think we're probably going to see this, except there's a solid, I'm not going to say solid shot, all right? Actually, I feel like this is the most likely scenario over here for IWM from right here. If I had to take my guess, that would be it. But if you really see some crazy bullish action going on here, then yeah, we're going to be looking for a move all the way up here. So it would look something like that. And you probably would pull back and just flip this or something like that, And it would look something like this. All right? There again, do I think you're going straight up to the moon? No. But just throwing some ideas out there. DIA, again, not the most bearish looking candlestick. Yes, there's a wick going on up there. You broke out to a new high. And just like over here, when you had this 3-week long range, or was it over here? I forgot. I think it might have been this one, all right? Because I was pointing out we just had like a, solid chunk of range action going on. And people were getting bearish. It was like, do you really think it's just going to explode for 1 or 2 weeks? No, it's probably, it's going to do some things. And honestly, you're just grinding, higher here. Doesn't look the worst, doesn't look the best. But what I will point out is it's not the wide, solid-bodied green bar like these other ones, really just being like decision candlesticks, but it is not what you had the last 3 weeks. All right, the bulls are starting to step back in. Come over here to Mr. VIX. What do we get? All right, you do have that smaller wick going on over there. Thought I'd flash Mr. VIX because we do cover it here on this channel. People say you can't do TA on Mr. VIX. I say that's really not the case, right? You had a hammer candlestick yesterday. Well, you see buyers are stepping in. What do we have? Not yesterday. That was on Thursday. What do you have following that day on Friday? My apologies. Following that day on Friday, you had another hammer candlestick. We're going to refer to this as a hammer candlestick. I don't care what you want to call it. It's a bullish looking candlestick. Guess what? Buyers are stepping up over here. All right. Now let's go down to the daily time frame. Why would buyers be stepping in over on Mr. VIX? Well, it has an inverse correlation over here, and it's not actually buyers stepping in on the VIX. All right. VIX is just directly correlated to the XPX options market. It moves up when short-term puts are bought and calls are sold, and then it moves down when calls are bought and puts are sold. That is just how it works. So no, there's not an actual buyer over here on the VIX. It is, yes, you're right, it's an oscillator, okay? And it's directly tied to this bad boy right over here. Oh, look at that picture perfect setup. Oh, you exploded. All right. SPY though, guys, which that was all the way back down here. Right here. SPY. Guys, I think you're going to come down here and tap 518.22 this week, and I'm looking to buy that area. I think it's going to be a nice opportunity along this uptrend. Am I telling you to go bet the farm? No. Am I telling you to even bet at all? No, because there's no financial advice given on this channel. But you do see what I see. It would be a picture perfect break and retest. And if you just go a little like this, you could see, okay? Well, it depends really where you want to do that. That's going to be right underneath. But if you can't hold there, I'm going to be honest. You know, you do have to come quite a bit down to do some damage to this chart, but probably look something like this if you were to do that. All right. Now that you've made a high, bears, I'm going to tell you what you're looking for now. If you would like to get this thing rolling over, what do you want to see? All right. You want to see this? You want to see this zone right here? You want to see it give out. You don't want it. All right. You want to kind of see something like that. But regardless, you want to get a deep move down here, a deep move down, because it makes it so this thing can have a big old bounce here. Shorts can cover. All right. Buyers could be like, holy cow, yes, we're going to the moon. And then sellers are going to come in, they slam you down. All right. But the reason you want a deep thing here, right, is just because of that. Because what if it's just a shallow one? Well, and then you start getting up here. Well, the likelihood that you take out the sides, it's increasing. All right. But what happens if you see no buyers stepping in right here at your demand zone? Well, that's a positive sign for the selling side. All right. And then there's a solid chance if you revisit that, you're probably going to get some sellers stepping in there. All right. So there would be that. And then boom, now you have the daily downtrend to go up. That's why you want this move to be a big move down. We're going to see. All right. The beginning of the week is going to be telling. There's that. Now it is going to be a shortened week. We do not have Friday. It's going to be Good Friday. I will also tell you we have big data coming out on Friday. There's no, the market will not be open, but we have PCE data coming out. That is insane to me. That's psychological warfare. That means, guys, might not want to hold those positions over that weekend unless you really are convicted in that thing, because you know why. Not only you have more theta, but you're also going to be just because we don't know what PC is going to come in at, but we did see CPI come in hot. There's someone in the Discord who pointed this out. We saw CPI coming hot. We saw PPI coming hot. Or he was pointing out if PPI came in hot, which it ended up coming hot, that it pretty much put it in stone that PCE is going to come in hot, and that could be a negative market catalyst. Well, we have that over here on Good Friday. So that's that. All right, market's not going to be open, but yeah, expect a shortened week over there. Now, is the options market going to price this in? No, you're just going to lose more theta. That's how that. I'm pretty positive that's how that's going to work. Maybe it tries the more options market tries pricing this in, but no, I'm pretty sure you were just going to yeah, you're going to wake up on over there on Monday and you're going to be like, oh crap, that's more money gone than I thought on theta. So there would be that. All right. SPY, guys, it's real simple. You got this 520.62 gap. That's going to be your support. And underneath that gap support, you have nothing. All right. Until you come all the way down to 518.22. So that's really why I'm looking for over there. If you come down there, we're going to turn on regular hours right there. You're developing this range looking thing, but I'm actually going to call this a head and shoulders looking thing. I just saw this. Look at that. If you want me to make it a real crystal clear picture for you. Boom, boom, boom. If you come down here, what do we want to see? We want to see it go like that. And then you want to see that. Because the further this RSI can drop down here, I love seeing oversold RSIs. Why? Because it tells me to start looking for a dead cat bounce and then watch for it to go lower, price to go lower. Like it's going to go like that, but this thing's going to go like that. And that's solid. All right. But realistically here, I would love to see this happen. I would love to see that exact thing happen. Just like that. All right, so, you know, this is the best possible scenario here for your boy Henry. I would love to see the 15-minute bullish divergence just pop up right here, just like it popped up. You had the bearish divergence pop up right over here. Mark your top. Mark the top right over here. And if you really want to see how dramatic this thing was, it just needed it. It was like, I want it. I want it. And I was like, I know you want it. I know it's coming. And then it came, and then it went. That was 10 cents over the high, and then you tanked. That's crazy to me. That you just ever so... That's why we watch for them. That is why we watch. Why did they have to pop up? I have absolutely no idea. I really don't. I cannot tell you, but it's definitely something I noticed over the years. So, yeah, I use them a lot. I do have a potential, inverse head and shoulders looking guy over here on QQ, but as I just pointed out on SPY, I do think it is going lower to start off the week. So that's what I'm going to be watching for. Over here on QQQ, watching for this low to be taken out at 44449. Yeah, 44449. If that can be taken out, you're probably coming down here to 442. 441.99 to be exact. As you see, I have that circle there. Guys, that's going to be the golden pocket coming from down here to up here. No, it wouldn't. I definitely took that from the hourly time frame. Yeah, I was going to say. Not line up with what I was just pointing out. Right here, you see where the green circle is. Ideally, as SPY comes at the 518.22 is at the level 518.22. We're going to see QQQ do some action like that. And boom. We want to see this thing tank. I mean, it doesn't have to. I'm going to be watching SPY. SPY typically has mainly is what I'm watching for clean price action. Like, guys, this is clean. This is real clean. QQ just slightly, but this is also clean. I can't hate on QQ. That's why we cover them both. I can't hate on you, darling. Gotcha. All right. IWM, guys, you're really just, in the sloppy looking range here. I think it's best to just let this thing play out. You don't have to get sucked into the chop. We just saw some chop on QQ and SPY that just got resolved. So I think it's best if you want to trade the indices. SPY right here, guys. It's looking pretty nice. All right. So you guys know what I'm watching going into the week. It's nothing too crazy. On the downside, let's point out what's it gonna look like for this thing just to jump ship. Well, I'm gonna be watching SPY. I already pointed this out, but I'll just review this. All right. If you do end up not holding here, you are watching for all the way down here. But at that point, we're just going to call it no, it's not going to be trendless. It's still going to be an uptrend. But from that point, you open up to that scenario we just talked about. So if you really do, get down here underneath here, yes, we're looking for buyers at the golden pocket. But is it for a dead cat bounce? It could be, because you could set up for that scenario we talked about in the beginning of the video. So that's your bearish scenario. This is going to be your bullish scenario. You're looking for buyers right here. All right, this is really as easy as it's going to get this week. You don't have to complicate things for yourself. If you do end up going higher, just guys watch for these divergences to form. They will literally be your guide. If you take out this high, you're probably going to keep going until you put in one of these divergences that just so happens to, get put on like pretty much every single one of these for a reason I don't know. All right, I don't know. See what I'm saying? All right, just pointing out for all the new people in the back. All right, now let's go over some individual tickers. Let's actually start with the weekly time frames. I want to talk about the big boys. All right, big boys being Meta, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Apple, Nvidia, the things that are actually moving the market. All right, we'll start off with the beast himself. Tried telling you guys I didn't think this was a shorting opportunity. I thought this was a buying opportunity. I thought if you were going to be shorting, I think you were going to be short in the hole. I actually, felt so deeply about this that I took it to Weeble. All right. Do I wish I held all of my Nvidia? Yeah, I wish I just had what I had the other day. And then, I think this thing's about to print. This thing honestly looks like it's going to rip faces this week. You had increasing volume to close out the week. Over here, not on the weekly chart, but over there on the daily chart. Now, yes, this is decreasing volume, but guys, this is an explosive setup we're looking at right here. If you can get over 947 over here, we're looking at some upside. All right, you're probably going to take out the high, and you're going to probably go a lot higher. Now, why do I think you're going to go a lot higher? Let's talk about the psychology behind what's going on with these candlesticks, all right? Say even the same thing right here. Any sellers who took positions, well, by this week, you closed out right here at the high. You're underwater. And that's why you got a gap up, because people closed the first chance they got. Looks like it. All right. But yeah, you have sellers. They think they're winning. All right. Very bearish candlestick going on. Let's see. Last time you had this, went a little higher, and then you died a little bit. All right. You know, I'm just putting it out there. I was not bearish at all when we printed these. I thought this was going to create a buying opportunity, and what did it do? It created a buying opportunity. There you go. I think Nvidia to 1K, 1,000 incoming next week? Question mark? Probably. All right, but you know, I'll keep covering the beast himself. Right here, guys. What happened the next week? You also had that indecision. All right, so the fact that you didn't start aggressively selling the next week, that's your red flag as a seller. That's that, because you printed this thing. If you want to see these guys, you know, win, you want to see this thing start tanking pretty quick. But what's happened? The market participants, they're just digesting what the heck just happened. And they're like, wait a minute. It's going to 1,000. We got to buy this thing up. All right, so what do? They soak it. Sellers think they're getting their way. A third week in a row, they're like, oh, yes, yes. And then, boom, they soak the previous candlestick, and they just about to soak this guy right here. And once you do take out this high, all sellers are underwater. And then you have a sick, nasty short squeeze. And NVIDIA 1,000 incoming, NVIDIA 1050 probably incoming, NVIDIA 1,100 probably incoming. So many shorts had to have accumulated mass right here, and then, boom, you're going to take them out. The beast himself might be taking the market a little bit higher. There you go. All right, that's why we covered him first. The next one we're going to be talking about is AMD right here. Guys, you are right here. Your golden pocket come from right here to here. You had more than a month of consolidation here in this range. I don't think this is the end of the breakout. All right, I think this was bullish consolidation. You had your bullish move. I don't think that's it. I do not. Now, what I'll also point out is, guys, you have this, you take out the low again, you're going to have a triple bullish divergence going on here on the 4-hour RSI. This thing's coiling up. It's coiling up. It's going to explode. You see NVIDIA go? It's probably going to pull this bad boy with it. All right, so that's why we're going to mention it. But let's continue with the big boy weekly charts. That's really what I want to focus on right now. Tesla, I'm not going to call it the biggest of the boys, but I will say this thing's queuing up. It's queuing up for the move up. There's that. Not saying it's going to happen next week, but again, just not a bad looking chart. Oh, SMCI, you ask? Oh, this thing looks like it's probably about to rip faces. You had the two only red candlesticks here having in decreasing volume, like this flat volume. Okay. You had a big down week. This volume does not match it. Okay. I do think you're probably about to see this thing trek higher and rip some faces. You pull back to the weekly 9 EMA, something that hasn't happened since you rocketed off into space here. That's that. We're going to look at Goog. Does this thing look like it's probably going to die to you? No, it looks like it's probably going to come back up here and take out the side to me. That's that. Is it going to be a breakaway gap? I got no idea, but judging by this daily chart, yeah, it's probably going to be a breakaway gap. You're probably going to come take out this high. What's that going to do? It's going to bring the market higher. Let's actually watch Bitcoin. What is this thing doing? Well, you just had this dip. Now you have a weekly hammer candlestick, and if it closes that way, yeah, we got 5 hours left on the clock, ladies and gents. 5 hours. Guess what? Probably going to result in some further buying pressure. You do have this head and shoulders formation. I'm going to take that off because I personally think after just seeing what we just saw, this thing's probably going to be running back up. All right, so there's that. Oh, Amazon, you ask? Does this really look like it's about to die? No, I don't think so. I think it's just consolidating. I think it's probably going to be coming all the way up here. So there's that. All right, but Apple, the big boy himself, guys, you're having a battle down here. If you see this thing come down here, probably going to get buyers stepping in. If you see this thing really explode, and start recovering here, you're probably also going to see like a rather aggressive bid. The thing doesn't look too bad, all right? But now what I really want to direct your attention toward, Microsoft. This thing doesn't look bad at all. This thing looks like it is going to explode further this week. You're probably going to print an equal size candlestick to that. That would be a 3%. Where would 3% take you? 3% would take you to this 442 level right there. I don't think this looked bad at all. I understand you had decreasing volume on every single candlestick I just showed you. But you just had a lot of consolidation in this range, and you just broke out of it. You had a whole month and a half, which is actually, it said 49 days there. All right, you can bring it out. It's 49 days, sorry. All right, guys, so month and a half, you've had that consolidation. You just broke up from that. I think you're going to continue higher. That's that. That's that. Now let's talk about some individual tickers to take a look at. This guy, I do think this was a ticker request, and I do think this thing is probably going to be trekking higher, right? You do have this double bottom going on. I want to point out you're riding that 9 EMA. Doesn't look bad. Double bottom neckline is going to be 53.45. Above 55.04, that is when you can see some boom boom action. All right, and this thing could get moving and grooving. But yeah, you've had a downtrend for quite some time. Buyers are stepping in. There you go. I just pointed out Microsoft. I think this thing is also queuing up to go further this week, all right? But GS, the Goldman of the Sachs, you've had this range for a very long time, for 3 months, 3-month long time. What happens if you come back here and pull back to this 397 area? You're probably going to get aggressively bid up. There's your trade idea of the week. I think the top focus potential right here, GS. I think this has some potential to the setup. This has clearly been consolidating in the bullish manner. Well, you didn't know which way it was going to go, but it broke up. And what do you think comes next? You're probably going to continue higher. ZOM. Guys, we pointed out over there. We'll pat ourselves on the back, all right? But guess what? It's probably going to pull back at some point. Where are we going to be watching? 109.19. 109.19. Come over to Oxy. All right, we take off these. Boom, boom, boom. Stalling out in the golden pocket. Where are you watching over here on Oxy? Right here. All right, 62 schmeckles. You're watching for buyers stepping anywhere from 61 to 62. That's where you're paying attention to. Next one we're watching, Schwab. All right. Now, I personally think this thing's going to not find buyers right here. And I think you're probably going to come down here right as GS taps that, what was it, 397 mark we just looked at. All right, right over there. Yeah. Okay. But you got the Schwabs of all Schwabs, and yes, all right, the Schwab. Schwab, I think, is going to take it down, ride down to like 68.50, 67-ish, or not 67, 69-ish up there. Well, down here, I guess. That is where I have the alert. But either way, whether it bounces from here or down here, I do think it goes higher. That's the call. But this is something I'm willing to take advantage of if we get that pullback. I think it's going to be lucrative. So there you go. All right, Pan W, I'm just going to share my thoughts on this one. Again, a ticker request, but I will just say I think this dip is going to be bought up. I think every other time you've had these pullbacks, all right, these aggressive pullbacks, they've literally just been buying opportunities. And you just saw like the same thing I just showed you here. And maybe it goes flat for a little while, but eventually you're probably going to see a decent gain. And maybe it goes flat and declines for a little while, but eventually you're probably going to see a decent gain. So short-term traders, I don't think the stock is for you. I really don't. I don't think you're going to have the best of times. Kind of wants to find a trend and just goes with that trend. So swing traders, yeah, all right. But yeah, I would wait for that. Right now you have a whole lot of nothing. These are the levels I'm paying attention to. And yeah, I think this is it's gonna be bought up eventually. I don't know when it happens, but I think this is going to be a buying opportunity. You have this double bottom. Your neckline is going to be 292.79. There you go. Next one we're paying attention to is AI. All right, you do see right there. All right, now what I really think there's potential for is this bad boy right there. That is almost a 5-to-1. All right, falling wedge, breakout. What do we also have? We have the 4-hour bullish diverge going on right here, right as you come down into your demand zone. If you can come down and tap 27.29, that is what I'm looking for, and that is something I would be willing to take. Now, the other way this can play out is I already do have a level up right here. It's 29.32, but just, you know, this golden pocket right here is bothering me right there. Yeah, 29.32. That is going to be a resistance. You break above there, you can ride that short-term momentum to these take profit levels. There you go. Next one we're paying attention to is over here on ARM. ARM did just have this breakout. And how long did this consolidation take, guys? It has taken a whole pardon my French, a whole 38 days. All right. I do think we are going higher from here. That is just my current opinion. And that's that. All right. I think that is pretty much everything I wanted to point out. I will actually point out Upstart. I think this one is also getting ready. I think you're getting ready for an upside move here. I think you want to break out of this wedge. And I'm here for it. AMD, I've already shared my thoughts extensively on this bad boy right here. I think this is the hottest setup in the market. Not the hottest setup in the market. I'm going to say this is the most, this is the easiest, clear as day play that I can point out right now. That's like, yay. All right, you just buy your time and wait your time. I think from here, if you're buying down here, I really do think this, guys, you get back up to this 200 area. I did the math the other day. April 19 cons. You buy the 200C, all right? By the time you get up there, there's your 4X. it's like you don't get these clear as day plays too often. And it's not like you have crazy terrible news over here like Apple, where just all the big boys just want to, all the news, news people, the big guys, they just really want to gang up on you. No, it's not like that. All right, chips are in a hot sector, and if Nvidia goes, AMD is probably going to go, and yeah, that's that. But other than that, guys, I think Meta's probably going to come take out these highs. I think it's just consolidating right now. I think this thing is literally going to come, push a potentially start off the week. I don't know. BA, we're watching on the pullback right here. I think those are, that's just about it. Those are the setups that I really wanted to point out, put on your radar. We pointed out some solid trade ideas there. We just put some potential ideas on your radar, such as this BA right here, guys. If you do get a pullback, look for a higher low, 182 to 184. If you can get it, hey, I like it. If you don't get it, hey, I'll still be watching it for a move down here, and I'll probably take that as well. So with that being said, I'll catch y'all in the next one. Everybody have a lovely rest of your weekend, and peace.